All right. Here we go. We are live. We're ready to start building. How's everybody doing today? Welcome in. It's a little early for my normal PC building time, but you know, we've got a little more free time on our hands right now. So we're getting this built and ready for the customer to pick it up. This is actually for a local customer. Today's build, we've got a really nice 1440p gaming system. So we've got a Ryzen 5 9600X, RTX 5070. We've got 3 terabytes of storage. We've got 32 gigs of RAM. Got a nice B850 motherboard from MSI. 240 millimeter AIO for the cooler. And then we've got a 750 watt power supply to keep it all running nice. Zai, what's up? What up, Ba? How we doing? All right. That's what we're building today, so let's get to it, huh? Let's just get right into it. It's a little early for my normal stream, so we'll definitely get some people rolling in here. Paulo, what's up? Welcome in, everybody. What up, Scott? Just building the computer today. I mean, that's what we do every day. But, you know, that's what we're doing. Is this pre-recorded? It is not, Vincent. How are you? This is live. We are building right meow. What up, Cubics? Welcome in. How often do you guys come across pre-recorded lives? I'm curious. All right, Ryzen 5 9600X. Let's do this. And this is actually for a local customer, so we don't even have to ship this baby out. Just gotta do our normal thing, get it built, get all the software and stuff on it, and then they're gonna just come pick it up. Pretty sweet. What up, Richard? Look at me, I updated my specs command. Robert, what's up? All right, 9600X. Let's get our 1 terabyte SSD in. This is gonna be our main SSD that we're gonna put Windows on. No, I'm not gonna follow that, Alex. Found this PC 550 CAD. That's pretty cheap. 6700, 1650. I mean, that's a really old CPU. The fact that it supports DDR4 is good because, I mean, you could, like, that's so cheap. Like, you could basically take that CPU motherboard out and swap in something that's actually modern and it would work pretty well. I mean, for that price, like, it's not terrible. You might be able to find something used in a similar price point that is better, but it's hard to say. But yeah, the 6th series for Intel is super old at this point. It's been a while since we've used an Adata SSD. Got a little heatsink for it. Isn't really necessary since we got a heatsink there, but at least it tells you what it is. Okay. Botrix joined the chat. What's up, Botrix? Here we go. Okay. 3 terabytes of storage installed. Jeez, what is up with these scammers on this site, man? Okay. Looks like Richard's on it. Thank you, Richard. Banned. What up, Dark Days? JB Builds. What's up, Fade? How we doing? All right, let's get our SSD in here, or our sorry, our RAM. Most expensive part of building a computer right now, apparently. Got a quick question? What you got? It's been worse everywhere lately since they started working on blocking bot viewers. That could be. Alfredo, what's up? All right, got our RAM in there. We got our SSDs in there. We got our CPU in there. Let's check if we need to put some mounting hardware on here for our CPU cooler. Almost tempted to pull a stick out of your rig just to sell. Don't do that. I mean, unless you've got 4. If you've got 4, then get rid of 2, but CPUs only run dual channel anyways, so you're not speeding anything up by running 4, but if you've just got 2, it's definitely not worth it. Building your PC with a 9800X3D. Will a budget deep cool LE360 V2 do the job? No, that should work just fine. Are you in the US? I'm guessing you're out of the US if you're looking at deep cool products. Canadian pre-built market's so bad, I can't find anything good. Yeah, I mean, at that price point, you're never gonna find anything super nice and new. Like, that's so cheap. All right, here's all of our AMD stuff that we need. Got any 4090s? No. They haven't been making 4090s in a long time, over a year. They stopped making 4090s before they even started making 50 series. I sold my last 5090 that I had in stock. I mean, I can get more if I need to, but it's one of those that I don't sell enough of to just like hold one in stock all the time anymore, now that they're pretty readily available. This is AM5. I have been stockpiling a little bit of DDR5, not like too much, but like 7-8 kits, so I've always got, you know, a handful on hand in case they like really start disappearing. Like right now they jumped up a bunch in price, but they're not like completely out of stock all the time. So if once I get down to like 2 or 3, I'll probably try and find some more to order because I don't want to run out. But mostly just the 32 gig kits because that's what I sell the most of. I know, dude, these data centers, they're killing us, man. I mean, the 5090 still performs better than the 4090, even without the frame gen stuff. You're in India, gotcha. But yeah, Deepcool makes good stuff. You can't buy them in the US anymore for a while now, but Deepcool's good. The Arctic Liquid Freezer is really solid too. But the 9800 X3D isn't such a hot chip that you can't cool it with like your average 360mm AIO. All right. Got all that in there. Shouldn't need any of this. All right. Let's get to putting stuff in our case. Ooh, the XFX. I love the look of the XFX cards, man. They look so good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using the frame rate generation stuff if you want to. It can be a nice way to, you know, improve your FPS if you're on a lower end system or trying to play at like a higher resolution. But, I mean, I don't use it personally. I play mostly FPS games, so I don't want any like artifacting or weird looking stuff. $7900 XT is still a really good card. I mean, it's not top of the line anymore, but it's still really solid. And it's better than a lot of the newer like mid-series cards that are out now. You're welcome, Inosuke. Can we get rid of this other guy, Richard? I don't know if you're still in here. I'm not gonna follow his freaking account. Okay. Got all that. Got our motherboard bolts right there. A couple of cable ties, that's nice. Bunch of zip ties. Stream quality is kind of blurry on 1080. Shouldn't be. Looks pretty good on my end. Talking me up, my name's Richard too. Oh, no, I was talking to my mod. He's on TikTok right now. Dropping them likes. Watching you build PCs make me excited. Hopefully you'll build yours within a week or two. Heck yeah. Building PCs is fun, man. Yeah, good on your end. Yeah, I mean, it should be pretty solid. I think I need to fix the... I think I need to change the focus mode on this one. There. Now it should focus in on my face on that camera. I'll appreciate you. This is the Montec XR. It looks pretty much exactly the same as the View 270 though. Yeah, you gotta get that TikTok algo going. That's right. That's why he's #1 mod status. It'll be your first PC build? Ooh. Don't be scared. Any tips for first-time PC builders? I've got a video on how to build a PC. It's a little bit older now, but you might look at that. I mean, the biggest thing is just making sure all your cables are well seated, and that you plan your component, like the components you're going to use. What the heck? Why isn't that going in? The Montec XR, chill Phil. Even pushing the SSDs, have you worried that you might break it? Yeah, just take your time, man. I've got a bunch of builds that I've done live on here too, so you can kind of like watch the process of how I've built PCs. You might even find one that's similar to the one you're building for yourself. What up, Grand? How we doing? Bro, the bot accounts are out of control lately. It's been like non-stop. All right, there we go. Got all of our motherboard bolts in. Okay, see that fresh haircut? Just got it this morning. It was long overdue. Is it easy to build a PC? It's not super hard. I mean, I do it all the time, so it's very easy for me. But for the average person, you know, it's a little bit more difficult if you don't know what you're doing. All right, let's get all this stuff plugged in. HD audio. Let's get that. Let's get our CPU fan thing in here first before we forget. Okay. Let's get our USBs in here. Kind of a tight corner. And our USB-C. Got our front panel header. Okay, just like that. And get all these case fans plugged in. Okay, I had 2 more 8 gig RAM sticks as long as they're matching. For DDR4, you definitely can. DDR5, not a great idea, but Husk, thank you for the sub, dude. Gonna have my friend build with me a PC in March. I don't know if I should trust him. Has he ever built anything before? Stay up. Okay, it's not gonna stay up there. I think the biggest things about building your own PC, besides like making sure everything's plugged in right, is work on your cable management from like the start. Don't wait until you're like you've got everything in there and plugged in. Otherwise, trying to manage all the cables is going to be a nightmare. Looks like 6 out of 10 on difficulty scale as a first-time builder. The real battle will be setting the BIOS by itself. Oh, yeah. Is the 9800 X3D for $400 worth it? Yes. That's like $90 worth less than it used to be when it came out. Haircut is as clean as a tax evader's record. Oh my gosh. What up, tuners? I gotta get stuck behind the motherboard. Okay. Got lots of cables. Lots of cable length to deal with. RGB header there. Got a fan header there. Okay. I'm not doing too bad, Husk. Had a call with a recruiter today, so hopefully we'll have some interviews soon for a new job. Should be good. He has like 3 years worth of experience. Oh yeah, you'll be fine. Can you use PCI full riser cable on 9060 XT? You can. I believe the 9060 XT is capable of PCI 5. So you may be losing out on a little bit of performance by doing it. But you can, it'll still work. Okay. Sort out these USB cables a little bit. How much performance are we talking about? 5.0 riser cables aren't available yet in your country. Oh, really? Why are you using a riser cable instead of just plugging it into the motherboard? And I don't know what the percentage is. I can't recall. Saving enough to build a new PC from Micro Center. Oh, nice. $700. I need great performance, great FPS. At $700, that's going to be tough with new components, man. Suggest saving that money right now because the RAM prices are crazy. Yeah, even DDR4 prices have gone up a ton. Okay, so you don't need the RAM in the $700. That's not terrible. All right, there's all that. Let's get some power cables in here. Yeah, $700 for a whole PC. I mean, you could get like a 9060 XT and like a Ryzen 5 7500F or something like that with a good quality motherboard and power supply and all the rest. I mean, the 9800X 3D will do better. It has a little bit better performance. Oh, gotcha. I mean, he said he already has DDR5 RAM, so I would say go with an AM5 system. What motherboard are those coming with, though? You don't want to cheap out on the motherboard. Hey, Dark Days, thank you for the follow. Jay with the follow. Droids roaming with the follow. Thank you. All right, so we need our power cable for the GPU. We got our motherboard power here, CPU power there. There we go. That's what we need. Asus B650 Max Gaming Wi-Fi. I mean, it's not terrible. It's a little bit better than their like Asus Prime models, so that's not bad. tight corner for my fingers. Okay, got those guys in there, got our CPU power routed. Okay, let's get our motherboard power in here. Overall specs, type in exclamation point specs for the, if you're asking for me. I really wish they wouldn't do these stupid split motherboard cables sometimes. Come on. Just makes it such a pain to install it. There we go. Okay. Got that motherboard power cable in. Okay. Let's get our power supply in here. Feet cam. No thanks. Yeah, 7500X, 7500, B650, 32 gigs, 1 terabyte. That's not bad. $3070 died on you, and the GPU socket on the motherboard as well. Oh shoot. Yeah, RAM prices make it so that buying a new motherboard is not a, or building a new system is not great. You further plug the cables into the motherboard first and later in the PSU. Just the CPU and motherboard power, because it makes it really easy to plug them in afterwards like this. Just makes it really easy to route everything, you know? The heck was that sound? That was a weird sound. Oh, this zip tie broke. I was like, there was no plastic getting touched by any of this stuff. Why did it break? That's why. It's just a zip tie, folks. What up, John? Trying to build my first budget PC, but I'm not sure everything I need. RAM, CPU. You need CPU, CPU cooler, RAM, SSD, GPU, motherboard, power supply, case. The GPU is optional. I mean, that's like if you're gaming. If you're not gaming, then it doesn't matter. You don't need it, but. Kind of weird because if I put like an old GPU that gets power from the motherboard, it works, but even my old 1060 triggers the GPU error beep code. Yeah, it's probably your power supply. I mean, unless it looks physically damaged in the motherboard. Did I study for computer stuff like in school? No. No. I have a degree in mechanical engineering. Nothing directly related to computers. This is all stuff that I either learned myself or, you know, watching YouTube and stuff. First PC build was a year and a half ago. You're just paranoid of getting the wrong thing. Yeah, I mean, you can use things like PC Part Picker to help make sure the stuff you're buying is compatible and that it'll work well. That's a good option a good thing to utilize. Okay. All right, let's get our CPU cooler going. PC Part Picker doesn't work with RAM stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you have to check and make sure that the RAM you're looking at is specifically for Intel or Expo, Intel XMP or Expo. But besides that, it still works great. And most RAM works with pretty much every motherboard, other than like the Expo and XMP thing. Just because it's not on your like motherboard's like list doesn't necessarily mean it's not. Doesn't necessarily mean it won't work, you know. It does work with DDR4 versus DDR5. because I use it all the time. You missed that. You're actually working today. Rip. What program? PC part picker program? I'm gonna plug my pump in now so I don't have to try and reach up and do that later. Get my bolts out. Yeah, I don't know what program. I just use their website. Had a normal motherboard and refused type of RAM, though PCP said it would work. I mean, was it like an Intel XMP only and you had AMD or what? I mean, like PC Part Picker doesn't have access to QVL lists and stuff, as far as I'm aware. What up, Ragbolt? How we doing, dude? This is the Montec XR. What up, Hollywood? I haven't heard anything specifically about FPS drops. I've seen some people, I think, having issues with the newest Nvidia driver, maybe. I think those comments that I saw were related to COD, not Battlefields. I really wish they would stop using these stupid things. It's because it doesn't come with any sort of like adhesive or anything, and just kind of flails around everywhere. All right. Okay, there's our RGB connected. Let's get our CPU cooler block on. When I get into PC building and stuff like you do in other PC content creators, how would I start? Start by building PCs for your friends or something so you can, you know, build up a repertoire, build up, you know, the skills, and, you know, build the network. That's probably how I would start. I mean, that's how I got started. Any more PC sales on Best Buy? No, I haven't yet. They have great finance options. Oh, interesting. What brand paste? It's called Genel. Genel. Okay. Let's run this to the back. Okay, got that back there. All right, all this stuff's plugged in so we can start tying this stuff down. Okay, this guy needs to go to there. Probably see what I mean now that about these cables can get really crazy if you don't start dealing with them right away. Okay, let's get our GPU in there. And then we'll plug that in, finish up our cable management, and then we're done. How do I avoid static when building up a PC? You don't really have to worry about it. The gloves help a little bit, but I don't really have a problem with it. Do you prefer people to be on usually the Red app, just because I get ad revenue there. How was the moving between from places? What? What up, bro? Other stuff, just look online, you'll find a bunch of possibilities. Like I'm missing something here. I know what you guys are talking about. Good specs there, especially for a budget. Good enough for PC gaming, BF6, etc. Yeah, definitely. Go with 7800X or 9070 XT, pay more. Talking about for this build? check. There might be some plastic guys on these. Doesn't feel like there is. I think we're good. Finally catching a stream. What's up, Dirty Dog? Yeah, RAM prices are crazy right now. I wish I could say I was immune to that, but it's not true. For a 9800X 3D, what would you choose between a Trix Panorama? Ooh, I like the Trix Panorama a lot. Personally, that's probably what I would go with. Such a cool looking CPU cooler. How's the garage office? We're not there yet. I've started moving stuff out. Mostly just like the stuff that I don't really use on any sort of regular basis, or the stuff that I like probably need to just sell. And then we'll get moved out here in the next couple of weeks fully. And I'll be in like a room in my house. I won't be in the garage. Oh, you moved over to this app? Oh, hello. Okay, got all that. Got our little dust covers back in here. Get this guy back on here. Get our GPU support over here. Boom. All right. Let's look at the last of the cable management work we need to do. My PC is over a year old last month. What maintenance should I be doing on it? Be good to replace your thermal paste. Check your BIOS and update it. Check that you don't have any new motherboard drivers. Thermal paste just for your CPU cooler. You know, it never hurts to like reinstall Windows. I know it's a pain, but it never hurts to like reinstall Windows if you can. Like not just like a restart or whatever, like or a reset, but do like a full USB Windows install with like a newer ISO. So you don't have to redo all the downloads, all the updates. Okay. Those are the main things. I really wish there was something better I could do with this, but there's really not. All right. That's baby's built. Cool. And there we have it, folks. That is a PC. What do we think of that? What do we think of that? What up, Luke? Changed the water in mine and cleaned it. Yeah, it's definitely a good thing if you have custom water cooling. I'm not sure why I won't display my real name. It used to. Oh, interesting. Oh, office move. Yeah, I haven't moved yet. I've started taking out stuff, but it'll be a minute. Quick question, Red. I'm looking for a NAS system, but I don't want to hassle a lot with system setup for the NAS. Ooh, I don't know anything about NAS, unfortunately. That's something I've been wanting to do for here, to get, like, to do all of my, like, video editing and stuff, like have like a NAS here to like load all of my footage to, so that like my editor can access it just from there rather than using like Google Drive. But I haven't done it yet. Not worried about paste not seeing temps at all yet. There you go. Time for a beer. Nah, I still got lots of work to do. Excuse me. This is just kind of the beginning for me because I have to put Windows, update the BIOS, all that good stuff on it too. I don't really have a go-to guy for Optis. I do like the basic stuff like Windows debloater and making sure your BIOS is set up properly and stuff like that. The only people that I know of to recommend are FPS Hub. They're pretty solid. I don't work with them directly or anything though. Just means more work for me to figure out. Yep. All right, y'all. Who's ready to see this baby fire up? Throw in your favorite emoji while we fire this baby up. Yeah, I've heard good things about the FPS Hub guys. I know a couple of people that have used them and had good things to say. So while I don't have anyone to like specifically like recommend or that I work with, those are the only people I know of that are solid. Do I have a video of replacing thermal paste? Maybe. Maybe. If not, I can make one. Doesn't take very long. All right. So as a reminder, we've got a Ryzen 5 9600X. We've got 32 gigs of DDR5 worth $1 million. 1 terabyte main. Second SSD is a 2 terabyte. We've got a 5070 750 watt power supply, 240 millimeter AIO. Got the MSI Mag B850 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi, and then the Montec XR first ever power on. Once I find the power button, there it is. Boom. Oh, I think one of the cables isn't quite plugged in over there. I think one of those fan cables is just a little loose. Just got a little loosey-goosey on me. Is it this one? No. Maybe this one. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Now it's not flickering anymore. Looks great, thank you, P. This is a gaming system as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I unplugged something and then plugged it back in. Oh, post light? Yep, it's on green. Post light's on green. That's why you can see it right there. You can see it right there. That's the green light. So we posted. We're good. Crazy how fast yours is getting outdated. I know. Isn't it crazy? I mean, you have similar specs to what I do. I have a newer CPU. I've got the 9600X, but I have a 4070 Ti Super as well. And mine's all water blocked and stuff, so I have been waiting to upgrade because it's just such a pain to upgrade a hardline water-cooled system. And it costs a lot more. Costs a lot more. Build as clean as a baby's conscience. Looking forward for your review. Yeah, make sure it's off unplugged. Pull this off or whatever your cooler is. Wipe it off really good. You can just use like a paper towel or something, and then use either like some alcohol wipes or like a microfiber cloth or something with some rubbing alcohol to clean off both sides. Reapply some thermal paste, and then you're good. For me personally, or for this build, why I don't have an X3D? That my PC is more expensive? Oh, wait, what? Personally, so I had, when I built my PC originally, I had the best of the best CPUs, which was the 7950X. And I was having, like a year and a half or something later, maybe 2 years later, I was having a bunch of problems trying to figure out what was going on. Tried, using different RAM, different GPU, all the stuff. Couldn't figure it out for a while. And one of those steps was, it seemed like it might have been a processor failure. So I took my 7950X out and put a 9600X in. That still didn't fix it. We found that it was the motherboard. The motherboard had a dead capacitor, so I sent it in. So I bought that 9600X just as a way to like check and see like what was going on with my PC. It was kind of a short-term solution, and I don't game enough to like care about getting a lot more FPS. Like I already get good FPS at 1440p, and with it being hardline water cooled, it's a good amount of work to swap stuff out. So I just kept it as is. I didn't really feel like swapping out for a new CPU, and I don't think the 9800X3D might have been out at that point, but I think it was still the 7800X3D. Yeah, it was definitely a nightmare. It was all sorts of issues, but it's a super expensive motherboard, and they fixed it for me and sent it back, and now it's working like a dream. Clean rig, thank you, Ice Crazy. I appreciate you. Do people do double AIO instead of fan cooling for the GPU? Those exist. 1 second, guys. One second. Those do exist. There are a few GPUs, like usually just the top of the line ones, that you can get like with an AIO already on them. There are some kits out there that exist that you can make it into an AIO, but they're really rare. Usually if you want to do anything other than like the standard GPU cooling, it's custom water cooling. Have a nice day, mate. See you next stream. All right, Husk, thank you so much for hopping in, dude. Appreciate you. Clean fire PC as always. thank you. If I did a water block PC, I think I would just do the soft pipe. Yeah. Yeah. It's so much easier. So much easier. All right, y'all. That's it for today's build. It posted. Everything's working. Everything's looking pretty solid. I want to hurry up and get this thing done today so that I can let the customer know that he can come pick it up. This is for a local build. All right, y'all. See you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out and chatting and keeping it fun. We'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye. Yeah, the Corsair hybrid block is great and cheap. Take care. See you later, BioBlade. Later, later, skater. KB, thank you for the follow, by the way. Appreciate that.